He was on his way to a business meeting under the golden morning sun when he spotted his maid lying helplessly on a bench, asleep, surrounded by nothing but silence and passing strangers. What he did next left the entire city stunned. It was late morning when the streets of the city buzzed with life. Children played in the park, couples walked hand in hand, and vendors called out, selling roasted chestnuts and warm pastries. The sun hung high, drenching everything in golden light. But in one corner of the bustling city park, amid all the life and chatter, lay a scene so out of place that it stopped him dead in his tracks. Maria, dressed in her Navy maid's uniform, with a crisp white apron, was curled up on a wooden bench. Her head leaned against the bench's armrest, her face shadowed by exhaustion. She wasn't sleeping peacefully. Her arms were tightly wrapped around herself, as if she were holding the pieces of her life together. Daniel Harrington, a self-made millionaire in his mid-40s, had everything money could buy: cars that gleamed like liquid silver, a mansion perched on the hills overlooking the city, and a life defined by success. But as he walked past the park that day, dressed in his immaculate suit and tie, his sharp gaze softened into confusion. "Is that Maria?" he thought. He slowed his pace, taking a closer look. It was her, the same maid who had worked for him diligently for over 2 years. She never complained, never asked for more than what she earned, and always had a faint but genuine smile whenever she greeted him. And now, here she was, lying on a public bench under the bright sun, her uniform crumpled, her face pale from lack of rest. Daniel approached carefully, his polished shoes crunching the gravel path. "Maria," he said, his voice hesitant but warm. Her eyelids fluttered, and she slowly sat up, startled. "Mr. Harrington, She paused, embarrassment flooding her face. "I wasn't expecting you." Daniel glanced around, noticing the curious stares of passers-by. "What are you doing here? Why are you sleeping outside?" Maria lowered her gaze to the ground. "I lost my apartment," she whispered. "The rent, it went up. I couldn't keep up. I thought I'd find a place, but until then," she gestured to the bench. Unable to finish her sentence, the bright sunlight made every detail of her vulnerability painfully visible. Daniel felt an unfamiliar sting in his chest, a mix of guilt and realization. "You can't stay here," Daniel said firmly but kindly. Maria shook her head. "Sir, I don't want to trouble you. I can manage. I'll find something. Trouble me." Daniel knelt down beside the bench, his expensive suit brushing against the dirt. "Maria, you've been helping me for years, keeping my home spotless, making my life easier. Do you think I can just walk away knowing you're out here?" The park's sunlight glinted in his eyes as he extended his hand. "Come with me. Just for today, let me help." After a moment of hesitation, Maria nodded back at the Harrington mansion. Sunlight poured in through massive windows, bouncing off the marble floors and crystal chandeliers. It was beautiful, but sterile. For the first time, Daniel noticed how cold and empty his home felt. Maria sat on the edge of a couch, clutching a cup of warm tea he had made himself a rarity for a man who usually had staff to do everything for him. "You should have told me," Daniel said, sitting across from her. Maria sighed. "I didn't think you'd care. People like me, we're invisible. We clean, we serve, and we fade into the background." Her words hit Daniel like a punch to the gut. He realized how distant and unapproachable he had been, not out of cruelty, but out of habit. As the sunlight shifted in the living room, Maria shared her story. She spoke of her childhood, growing up in a small village with a single mother who worked day and night. She spoke of moving to the city with nothing but hope and determination. Daniel really listened. He saw her not just as a maid, but as a woman who had fought her entire life for dignity and survival. That afternoon, Daniel called his accountant. "I want to set up something for Maria," he said. "An apartment, fully paid for the year, and raise her salary, double it." But even that didn't feel enough. He wanted to give her more, not out of pity, but because he respected her strength and resilience. "Maria," he said, "do you have a dream? Something you've always wanted to do?" Her eyes lit up for a brief moment. I've always dreamed of having a bakery. A place where I can bake the recipes my mother taught me. A place filled with warmth." A week later, Maria stood speechless outside a small but charming bakery in the heart of the city. It had large glass windows, freshly painted walls, and a sign that read Maria's Sunlight Bakery. "I bought this for you," Daniel said, handing her the keys. She was stunned. "Sir, I can't accept this." "Yes, you can," Daniel said with a smile. "You've given your life to helping others. Let someone help you for once." Word of Daniel's act spread like wildfire. Photos of Maria opening her bakery circulated on social media. News outlets covered the story of the millionaire who gave his maid a new life. People were astonished, but for Daniel, the only thing that mattered was the smile on Maria's face when she served her first customer. Her apron dusted with flour, sunlight streaming through the bakery's windows. Months passed, and Maria's bakery became a local favorite. The smell of warm bread and fresh pastries filled the air each morning, inviting people from all walks of life. Daniel often stopped by not as her boss, but as a friend. Each time he walked into the bakery, he felt a warmth that his mansion had never given him. This story isn't about wealth. It's about humanity. It's about noticing the people who quietly hold the world together and lifting them up when they fall. Would you have done what Daniel did if you saw someone in need?